Okay, let's dive into a teaching strategy that is so simple but so powerful it can literally change your classroom. We're talking about making the invisible process of thinking totally visible and easy for every single one of your students to grasp. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You lay out a perfect explanation, you hit every single point, and you look up, only to see a room full of blank stares. It's one of the most frustrating things for a teacher. But what if the problem isn't what you're explaining, but how you even got to that explanation? And that right there, that's the absolute key. The disconnect happens because students get the final answer, the shiny, polished conclusion, but they never see the messy road you took to get there. They miss all the little detours, the U-turns, and the self-corrections that are a normal part of how experts think. This gap creates what you could call an invisible barrier. For us, as experts, our thinking is often so quick and automatic that we just forget to show our work, our mental work. And that's exactly the spot where our students get lost. So, how in the world do we tear down that barrier? Well, we use a strategy that's designed to pull back the curtain on our own minds. It's called the Thinking Aloud strategy. So what is thinking out loud? Honestly, it's as simple as it sounds. It's you, the teacher, literally speaking your thoughts out loud while you're doing something. Think of it like a live play-by-play commentary of your brain at work. Now, this is way more than just narrating your actions. You're getting into the nitty-gritty. You're telling them what is going through your head, why you're choosing to do one thing over another, and how you're navigating the path to get to a solution. And look, this isn't just some nice classroom trick. It's backed by some serious research. As the amazing researcher David Pearson says, expert readers do all this stuff automatically. But for kids who are struggling, those mental steps are a complete mystery. They absolutely need to see it and hear it modeled for them before they can ever do it themselves. Okay, so you get the why, but what does this actually look like when the bell rings? Let's break it down into 4 super practical methods you can start using right away. Think of this as your new toolkit. First up, you've got the classic, teacher modeling. This is the one you'll probably use the most. It's where you're the star of the show. You pick a task, maybe it's a math problem, maybe you're analyzing a poem, and you just let your internal monologue out for everyone to hear. So for reading, it might sound something like this. Instead of just pointing and saying, "See, that's foreshadowing," you actually walk them through it. You show them the clue, and then you show them the prediction you make because of that clue. You're showing them how a reader's mind actually works. And this strategy is a total game changer in math too. Instead of just jumping into the calculation, you slow down and you say out loud, okay, first things first, what kind of problem am I looking at? And then, all right, I see it's fractions, so I know my very first step is to find common denominators. Now, let's level up. Method 2 is the interactive Think Aloud. This is where you turn it from a solo performance into a duet. You start by modeling your thinking, but then you pause and you bring the students in. You ask things like, okay, what are you thinking right now? Or tell me why that answer makes sense to you. It becomes a real conversation. And we can take it even one step further with the partner Think Aloud. This is where you hand the power right over to your students. You put them in pairs and they take turns talking through their thinking while their partner just listens, asks questions, and helps them out. It's fantastic for collaboration. And finally, especially for older students or really complex stuff, you have the written Think Aloud. So instead of speaking, students are actually writing down their thought process. They're making notes in the margins, like, my first step was to identify the variables, or, okay, now I'm looking for keywords in the prompt. So we've got our 4 methods, but what's the real payoff here? Let's talk about the incredible impact this has on students, because trust me, it goes way beyond just getting more right answers. I mean, look at these benefits. It's been shown to directly improve comprehension and give a lifeline to struggling learners. But it also does something deeper. It builds 2 of the most critical skills a person can have: metacognition, which is just a fancy word for thinking about your own thinking, and the confidence to really think critically. Let's just zoom in on that word for a second. Metacognition. It sounds like a big, intimidating academic word, but all it really means is thinking about your thinking. When you model your thought process, you're not just teaching history or science. You're teaching students how to check their own understanding, how to ask themselves questions, and how to know when they're getting lost. It is a fundamental skill for learning anything. And this brings us to what might be the most powerful part of all this, the emotional impact. This is huge. When your students see you pause and say, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right, let me back up,
you are sending the most incredible message that struggling is not a sign of failure. It's a normal, essential part of how learning actually happens. That alone can lower classroom anxiety like you wouldn't believe.
All right, you've seen the why and the how. Now for the really fun part. How do you actually get started? Let's talk about how you can run your very first Think Aloud in your classroom. Here are 4 quick tips to make it a success. 1. Keep it short and sweet, especially at first. Focus on just one skill. 2. Use simple, clear language, no jargon. 3. And this is so important, don't just model how to get it right. Model what you do when you make a mistake and have to fix it. And 4. Have a plan to slowly hand over the work to them. This last tip fits perfectly with that classic teaching framework, the gradual release of responsibility. You probably know it as I do, we do, you do. You start with I do, where you're modeling the Think Aloud, then you move to we do, where you're all practicing it together, and the whole goal is to get to you do, where your students are doing it all on their own. So that's the whole idea. It's about taking the expert thinking that's locked inside your head and making it visible, so your students can learn to think like experts too. The only real question left is, what invisible thought process are you going to make visible in your classroom tomorrow?